Hello everybody, welcome. It's of course Cape Rugby TV every week here on Cape Town TV, DSTV channel 263, and of course free to air in Cape Town. And of course for those of you that have got your set-top boxes, we now know that you're watching all around the country, so welcome. And if you're watching us for the first time, why not join us on our Facebook page and come and say hello, and you send some messages to us. But of course, big thanks to our partners on board with us, Score Energy Drinks. You can of course win yourself a case of Score during the course of the show. We'll tell you how to do that. Of course, Score's the official supplier to Western Province Rugby and the Score Western Province Club Rugby Sevens. And of course, MChem 24-hour pharmacy. We'll talk about MChem 24-hour pharmacy a little bit later. There's of course a diabetics awareness, and it is men's health awareness at the same time. Full show for you tonight. I'm going to tell you more about that a little bit in a second or so, but let me first welcome my panel. Jerome Parvati is back.
Good to be back, JP. Thank you.
And Faisal Felton, looking very like camping today.
Good evening, JP. Good evening, viewers. Yeah, always good. You can see holiday mode starting to kick in.
No, there's no holiday mode. Unless we, but nowadays, you never know nowadays with the load shedding, you have to have holiday modes. You don't know what's going to come. How's the load shedding been affecting you guys? I mean, we know that with you guys, administration never stops.
No, definitely. I think it's more about planning now. And I think, you know, like everything else, you factor it in and you work around it. So meetings and planning out of the offices during load shedding and that.
Yeah. And you, Jerome, I mean, you guys are on the field most of the time. I suppose with load shedding, you don't worry about that. You're only worrying if your players are load shedding.
Yeah, that's exactly, JP. But now we were busy with club players in the evening, so sometimes it's challenging for the gym because it's dark in the gym. So we improvise, or we just do stuff outside.
Yeah, well, we know, of course, you guys are very busy at the moment. Also, like you said, with club players at the moment, you're busy with testing. We're going to take a look at all of these things tonight, folks, with our clubs. Busy with testing, busy with conditioning. This coming weekend, there's, of course, also Western Province Rugby World Rugby Level 1 coaching course for women. And, of course, the women's rugby high performance training continues. So, lots on the show tonight. We'll get the ball rolling. We go down to the High Performance Centre where we catch up with the women's rugby side, and we'll also catch up with some of the players and coaches behind the scenes.
Yes, of course, it is. Because if like you are there the first week of this of this session, we start with only, I think it was only 5. But as it like become each and every Saturday, it start to getting bigger and bigger and bigger. As like you know, Western Province women is doing a lot because remember we've been playing the final almost like 4 years in a row. That's why like every year you start getting new faces and more numbers. This squad is like the elite squad. It's like the mix of the juniors and some of the seniors girls. That's a squad like we are busy working with them. Some of the ladies next year they still qualify to play under 18, and then those like they play in under 20 this year, which means they qualify to play in the senior rugby. That's why I say like it's a mix. It's a mix. We don't focus only on the seniors, which means we can't focus only on top. What about the bottom? That's why we decide like now in this off-season like to bring everybody together so that we can work in the core of the squad, so that even those like who gonna play the under 18 next year, when like the competition start, at least they not start from the bottom. At least the coaches they gonna get him there probably on the halfway. Yeah, she's of course as BB, as like we know BB she was busy now in the World Cup in New Zealand, and then she started to join us last week on Saturday. As it like she come in like she do some testing with the girls. You can see the faces of the girls. They was quite happy, and then after practice, each and everyone who just want to take the pictures with her, because some of them they just saw him now like 2 weeks back on the TV. Now they see him on the really like in front of them, and then maybe she just rub their shoulders with them. She train with them, and she's humble. They ask some question, and then maybe she answer those questions, and also maybe she motivate them.
Dit was taaf geweest. Ons kom van 'n hele lang rukkie nie van oefen nie, en om eerste keer terug te wees om myself weer op 'n level te push. Dit was hard geweest, maar ek is bly ons het dit begin doen en dat ons die pre-season reg begin. Definitief van waar ons begin het en waar ons nou is, elke week raak dit beter en makliker vir ons fiksheid gewys, en ons sien net voor vir die pad vorentoe. Dit is amazing, die coaches is baie supportive met ons, hulle push ons, maar op dieselfde tyd motivate hulle ons om net elke keer beter en beter te wees, en dan kry ons ook 'n groot inspirasie soos Bibi hulle wat heeltyd hier by ons is. Dit motivate ons om net beter te word elke keer.
Dit was baie taaf, baie swaar vir almal van ons wat weer teruggekom het na 'n lang tyd van rus. Maar die meisies was baie hyped en hulle het alles ingesit, baie effort gemaak om te doen wat vir ons gesê was om te doen, en op die einde van die dag het ons dit baie geniet. My persoonlike opinie is, ja, ek sien verbetering, veral in myself ook vir die afgelope 5 weke wat ons oefen. Die vlak wat ons op was en die vlak wat ons nou op is definitief 'n groot development verskil tussen wat ons was. En ja, die intensity is high buite en die potensiaal is ook baie hoog. Soos vir ons ou meisies, het vat 'n bietjie baie ekstra moeite om by te op hulle, van hulle is fit en hulle is baie eager en excited, so hulle kom hier met 'n positive energy van hulle gaan dit maak, en so is vir ons 10 keer moeiliker om by hulle te hou, van hulle is op daai van hulle moet hulle self bewys. So ons moet 10 keer harder werk om by hulle te kan byhou, ja. Ja, ons is baie bevoorreg om vir hulle te hê, om sulke ondersteunende coaches te hê wat altyd daar is om vir ons deur te druk deur die moeilike tyd op die veld soos vandag. Dit was baie warm, maar ek is trots op ons meisies dat ons deurgedruk het en die ekstra moeite ingesit het. Ja, ons sien baie uit, en vir almal is dis eintlik 'n goeie begin vir ons om hier te kan wys net sit al klaar 1% by om die span te kan maak vir volgende seisoen. So ja.
This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy and Score Energy Drinks. Wow, what incredible footage. Unbelievable to see what our Western Province women's rugby team is doing. Folks, we hope that you watched that. And if you didn't watch it, we're definitely going to show it to you again, because that's unbelievable to see what the sacrifice and commitment is from our women's side and the Western Province rugby side. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that in a second or so. We'll take a break, so don't go away. We'll be back in a second. Right, welcome back, folks. If you've just joined us, you're watching Cape Rugby TV. Every week we talk about what's happening in the world of Western Province Club Rugby, and of course the extensions of Western Province Rugby, which leans into the Stormers, and the Currie Cup side, and the Under-19 side, and of course, as you would have seen them just before the break, we spoke about Western Province women's rugby side, already in training, preparing, And of course, we'll talk about the high performance coaching course that's coming up this weekend for World Rugby Level 1. But Jerome, let's start off with you. Currently, looking at the training that's happening there, the women's rugby side is putting in effort on every level at the moment.
Yeah, it's great, JP, to see that they're busy. And I know Faisal, Jongi, they're there every Saturday morning. I've been there once or twice just watching what they do. And it's good to see that they're out there enjoying themselves and running, and it's positive for next year, for the season. And I think all the girls are buying in, and they want to learn and want to get fit and want to get strong. So it's very positive.
Faisal, let's go to you. You were yourself in that previous clip, standing on the field on a Saturday morning working with the women's rugby side. And looking at that footage, it's, in fact, for those of us that are in the club rugby space, quite emotional.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think, the commitment and dedication of the girls is fantastic. I think, when we started, it's probably like our 5th week now in the training and that, and, the numbers initially were not that great, but as you can see, the numbers have improved week in, week out. And I think with the ladies, you can see the commitment is there. Every Saturday, opposite, they're there, they're training. And I think from our side, as much as we are administrators, I'm not a coach, but I think it's just the mere fact of the support, and you could see there on the side the family that's there, the parents that are there, a lot of the juniors and that as well. So I think it's fantastic, and I think that's what it's about. Just the mere fact of them being there on a Saturday. That's all that we need, and I think that's the most important.
Is that something that's important? Making sure that if you want to be able to operate in a high performance environment, that your family knows where you're going and your family is supporting you during these training times?
No, definitely. I think as much as the players increase, we saw an increase in amount of family, parents, there on a Saturday morning and that. And I think, the culture is growing. It's become a norm on a Saturday. We know what we're doing Saturday. It's given Saturday morning before we start studying. Some of the ladies that are there are, studying, but what they've done is they've actually ensured that during training, that's the study break. So the culture is coming, and I think, as much as we're doing the conditioning and fitness, the one thing that we're trying to do when it comes to high performance is the self-discipline for the ladies to start understanding, training on their own and the intensity of training, which is key.
Yeah, well, you're talking about training and conditioning. We're going to come back to Jerome about that in a second, but let's take a look at some of the training and conditioning. We'll also catch up with the strength and conditioning coach Simpiwe Nkosi, and of course, no stranger to Cape Rugby TV, we'll catch up with Babalwa Lacha, otherwise known as BB, Western Province and Springbok women's rugby player. Let's see what happened. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy and Score Energy Drinks.
the biggest thing, it's all about community upliftment, development, and in saying that, I believe that, everything that we're doing as coaches, it's centralized around the development of the human being. We're trying to build human beings that can build other human beings. So the tools that we use in terms of coaching them, whether it's skills, tactics, conditioning, all those are just tools that we use to develop the individual, and that's what we want. And then we can have better communities. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm always gonna, talk about the end goal. I like to, use a term with them that, the man that actually enjoys the walk, actually walks the furthest, and the man who walks for the destination, right? So the girls are definitely improving. It's small improvements, but it's huge for them. I mean, we started off with 2 individuals, to 37. The numbers are growing, and we can really see that it's what they're actually becoming in the process, more than, the actual rugby itself. We're just using it as a tool, and actually being better and improving and being a better athlete, better individual. That's just a byproduct of the training, but the actual cause is them becoming better individuals.
Well, it's good to be back, first and foremost, and yeah, it was an amazing experience in New Zealand. Great learnings for myself individually and for us as a team. To get to experience a nation that is so passionate about the game, boys and girls. The atmosphere was amazing. The cultural experience, was out of this world. So it was really, really great to be in that nation. Yes, absolutely. Just the hunger that these young girls have is so amazing. It's inspiring, and it's our responsibility as the senior most members of the squad to show them what is possible, to be positive role models, to show them what a good work ethic is, to show them what's really within their grasp. And I think that I was once a youngster too who aspired to play for the Springboks, so they too can aspire to that, and they are getting a chance to see it in the flesh, and that it changes the ball game completely. It now gives them a tangible hope and a tangible, aspiration in that sense.
This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy and Score Energy Drinks. Well, there we go. Strength and conditioning coach Simphiwe Nkosi, as well as Babalwa Lacha. Faisal, Simphiwe is, of course, doing some incredible work there with the players.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think Simphiwe is just helping out. He's offered his time. He's there every Saturday. He's committed. He's sort of, he does the NGO as well. So he's quite actively involved in the community and that. So, from his side, to offer his time and to be there every Saturday is fantastic. And I think just in general, there's a number of people out there in the communities. I think that we must reach out to, especially at clubs, in terms of helping and assisting, and so it's great.
Yeah. Jerome, from a strength and conditioning point of view, you've got Babalwa Lacha there. Huge amount of experience, not only on the field but also off the field. It must be good for you guys to have that sort of level of experience working with the players that are coming through the ranks now.
Yeah, it's good, and I mean it's good to see her back coming from the World Cup, and it's also just lift the spirit of the younger players. And as you say, with the experience, input that she gives during training, it's immense, and it means a lot to the younger players because they all look up to her. And also, I mean, what the girls are doing, it's incredible, and to see where they are already, just after a few weeks of training.
So Faisal mentioned it earlier on about things like discipline. You guys as administrators, as coaches, as strength and conditioning coaches, you only see the players for an hour or two, once every 2 or 3 days. The other 22 hours of the day or other days of the week, they're not in front of you, which means they're obviously at home or at work or wherever they might be. You must have a tremendous amount of reliance on making sure that when they leave your space, they carry on with their programs. So is that something from a discipline point of view that's important? If you want to improve as a high performance athlete, you've got to make sure that your support structures are in place.
Yeah, look, you can we can measure everything. So the girls know, or every person coming to the high performance center, they know once you get your program, it's up to you to stick to the program, and just when you weekends, when you have to run, and when you have to eat properly, you have to eat properly, you can't cheat. When you cheat, we know when you come back, then the next training session you can see you haven't done what you're supposed to do. And obviously, the scale don't lie. So it's easy to monitor them.
Yeah, no, today's athlete performance monitoring programs are quite intense. Folks, we're going to take a break. When we come back from the break, we are in fact going to stay at the High Performance Centre, but now we move to the Western Province Club Rugby Elite Squad, where Jerome and his team are also busy with the players, where the clubs are now preparing for 2023 and more. We'll be back in a sec. Don't go away. Welcome back, everybody. It's Cape Rugby TV. Nice to have you with us. For those of you that just joined us, we're very much focused on the High Performance Centre at the moment. Women's rugby is training at the High Performance Centre. Club rugby guys are. Let me go straight into it. Jerome, one of the programs that has started now in the last few weeks is testing and conditioning. Just tell us, what is that all about?
Yeah, when the guys arrive, we're on week 3 now. When the guys arrived, the first session we did testing. We took the height, we took the body weight, and then the testing was obviously the normal gym testing, which pull-ups, bends and squats, and all the normal testing. And then we did on-field, we did speed testing. We did 40 meters through the speed gates, and then we did Broncos and all sort of speed. So that was, so we have all that, sort of all the players' results now. And so we can basically tell each and every player what they need to work on.
Well, folks, let's go now firsthand and see what exactly Jerome is talking about in terms of conditioning and the testing of the club rugby players. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy and Score Energy Drinks.
Ja, van ons ouens moet ek sê, ek dink meeste van die ouens wat hier so is, het ook die 7s gespeel die naweek net voor het en nie gedink dit gaan so vinnig gebeur nie. So ek dink almal het 'n groot skokkie gehad toe hulle gehoor het ons moet net dadelik weer begin met 'n pre-season. Maar verder met die oefeninge gaan great. Ek dink dit help ook baie van die clubs met hulle pre-season vir volgende jaar. En ek dink almal wat hier is so happy om hier te wees en jy kan sien die ouens gee hulle alles en almal hier is happy in die kamp, so nee, dit gaan goed. Ja, dit is altyd so, 'n mens sien altyd op die veld die een ou en as jy actually saam met hom baie keer op die veld kom ons 'n bietjie van 'n skoffeltjie en na die tyd kry jy jouself in die erns in 'n selfde span soos hierdie en ja, soos ek sê, die banter op die veld raak na die tyd, raak 'n vriendskap en ek dink almal hier koop lekker in op dit ook. Almal verstaan mekaar baie van die ouens ken ook al mekaar van vorige spanne waar hulle gespeel het, so die gees in die groep is great.
Nee, om weer terug te wees op die veld is baie lekker. Mense was baie uitgehonger, so dit was baie lekker om weer terug te wees. Dit was tog al, dit was uitdagend. Ek sou sê dit was maklik nie, maar dit is lekker om jouself te meet en te kyk hoe vergelyk jy met ander ouens. Ek bedoel, so 'n klomp nuwe ouens, party van wat jy nog nooit gesien het, so is lekker om jouself bietjie te challenge. Nee, coach Jerome is 'n baie ervare coach. Ek het tof vir 'n bietjie met hom te doen gehad. Dis baie lekker om net iemand wat die stelsel so goed ken en wat al baie deur die stelsel gewerk het. Dis baie lekker om so iemand agter jou te hê.
This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy and Score Energy Drinks. Faisal, it's great to see the club rugby guys coming through the ranks here. I mean, that's also fantastic for you guys, not only from closing off the season, but also keeping the players connected and at the same time getting ready for 2023.
No, definitely. I think, Jerome, high performance program that they're running. I think also, the club's involved in that. There's also, it's an education process, I think, both from a club coaching and also from a player perspective. But I think, like we say, those days of rugby being seasonal are gone. As soon as we finish the season, we start now with the off-season, the pre-season. And I think, it's a commitment to, we spoke about discipline. And I think this is where the players come and get involved from a club perspective in terms of planning and preparation, for the new year.
Jerome, I mean, looking at that footage over there, of course, high performance elite squad players, you've got quite a volume of players there. What are the kind of things you guys are concentrating on?
Yeah, JP, just a little bit of feedback on this program. We've done this way before COVID, and then after COVID we decided that we have to do something again for the clubs, because we don't want just club players to play. This is a professional, and then you get a club player. So we're busy with the same sort of program, sort of the non-contracted guys. And the program is we first had a meeting with all the coaches from Super A and Super B to explain them the program, which they bought in, and the onus was on them to bring the players to the training session and get them there. And I must say, well done to them for bringing the players. So we currently are 94 plus players every Monday and every Wednesday. So that is good, and the program, and the guys enjoy it coming there, and the coaches also coming in there and see. There's also a learning curve for them, not wasting a player's time. They come in, they do their gym, they do their on-field stuff, and they go home.
Thanks, Jerome. Right, folks, as you know, every week we go down to MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy. It's, for those of you that don't know, it is open 24 hours a day, 24/7, so you can go there anytime. It is Diabetes Awareness Month. So now, for many people, they wonder, what is diabetes? Well, simply put, diabetes is an illness whereby an excess of sugar in the body is not broken down efficiently, and thereby causes damage to various organs such as the eyes, the nerves, the kidneys, blood vessels, and particularly in the feet. This can, of course, lead to strokes and heart attacks. Now, anybody can, especially those of you who have a family history of diabetes, can be struck with diabetes. And maybe not, if you think that you might not get it, you need to be specifically cautious here, because it's not only for people who have a history of diabetes in the family, especially if you have an inappropriate lifestyle or potentially obese. Now, of course, MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy has got what they call the Freestyle Libre monitoring system, and I'll tell you more about that in a second. But there are two types of diabetes. There's the type 1, which means that you're insulin dependent, and diabetes then is generally hereditary and needs to be resolved by injection. And then there's type 2. Type 2 diabetes is usually a result of bad eating habits, a lack of proper exercise, and is treated with oral medication. So you have those two types of diabetes that you have to be very careful of. And of course, MChem has got the blood sugar monitoring system that you can get at MChem. As I said, the Freestyle Libre system. And I know many people that have got home kits where they test their blood sugar to check that they are healthy and in good shape. Now, of course, MChem Pharmacy stocks a range also of diabetic foods, diabetic sweets, and supplements, and of course monitors and strips to support the Freestyle Libre diabetic machine. Excellent specials on diabetic supplements and monitoring equipment for the whole month of November. So get down to MChem 24-hour pharmacy. They've got diabetic education by specialized diabetic care nursing sisters. They can demonstrate the blood sugar monitors, and they can evaluate you at the same time with a qualified nursing sister. So all that and more, of course, at MChem 24-hour pharmacy. Open 24 hours a day. Right, folks, we'll take a break. When we come back, we carry on talking club rugby. Back in a sec. Welcome back, everybody. It's Cape Rugby TV. Great to have you with us. Remember, you can catch us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV, and go and enter the Score Energy Drinks competition, which is going to come up in a second or so. We're going to tell you who won. Of course, every week we have a chance to try and spot the ball. Faisal, before we take a look at the footage here, high performance training at the moment in terms of clubs getting to the field. How important is this sort of pre-season training for the players?
Oh, definitely. I think it's key. It's one of the areas in terms of focusing for planning and preparation for next year. And I think looking at clubs, you've obviously got goals and ambitions in terms of where you want to be, whether it's promotion and that there, and as a player as well, in terms of where you as an individual need to be. And I think one of the things that coming from Jerome and the program that they're doing is it's about creating the pathway for the player. And I think ultimately it's about the player understanding exactly what's required and needed. I think you're listening to Jerome, what the speaking and that, it's not about on the field. There was a lot of testing done. There's a lot of stuff that they're doing in terms of strength and, pre-season planning and preparation. And I think it's all about the player understanding what he needs to do. And from our side, looking at club rugby, it's about trying to close a gap, from a professional player and looking at an amateur, not amateur, community player, we say. So it's about trying to prepare our players to make sure that given the opportunity and chance, these guys are ready and they can take it with both hands.
Let's take a look now at some of the elite squad training at the High Performance Centre. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-hour pharmacy and Score Energy Drinks.
Nee, verseker, ag dis lekker, dis reg lekker, dis 'n voorreg om te wees soos ek sê. En jy het mense wat jy al klaar teen gespeel het hierdie jaar wat jy sien, jy sê jy's maar ek onthou jou gesig, jy weet, soos lekker vriende maak en dit help net om die hele SLA liga net te bind en jy weet een groot familie te maak. Ons speel in verskillende spanne. Dis almal lief vir rugby en dit help ons liefde vir die sport uit te speel, ja.
Yeah, no, it was tough. Like I said, our season got cut short, so I was excited to play with the Sevens this year. And then as soon as the Sevens was done, we got the notification that we come into the HPC. So the season was cut short, so I was very excited to continue with the rugby, to be honest. Like you said, we had Sevens with conditioning kept up. So when we came here with the Bronco, I feel like we were prepared for it. But yeah, it's been tough though. Yeah, no, it definitely feels like a privilege being here, seeing where the Stormers players train and what they're doing. And like you said, yeah, it's a lot of motivation to be here and to see what they do and the level that they play at. And hopefully we can train to get there.
This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-hour pharmacy and Score Energy Drinks. Right, folks, let's go straight now. Jerome, so the players are busy training. You've got about 90 odd players there from different clubs. Final question before we go to the Score Energy Drinks competition, where we're going to give you guys a chance to make your normal mistakes. How important is it for the player once they leave the high performance centre, to take their results back to their club, to take it back to their coach. Faisal was talking about the pathway from club rugby, which we know with you guys starts at school level into club space, and of course potentially into the senior rugby spaces, and that the clubs are obviously instrumental in trying to promote their athletes and not only have them enjoy rugby, but for them to get better as players. How important is it for those club players to take their results back home?
Look, JP, that's basically the most important thing of getting the results to the players, so that they can, the coaches can see what they need to work on, because it's easy. A lot of coaches out there and players say they're good enough. Why don't they play Currie Cup, or why don't they play? So now you can measure yourself, and there is an opportunity. Just follow the program, and if your results is not good, they need to know what they need to work on. If you're a winger and you compare yourself to Angelo Davids or whoever playing URC, you have the standards and you have the norms. If you're a prop, you compare yourself to Frans Malherbe, you know where you have to work on, what there's certain standards. So the clubs and the coaches will get their results, and they will know what to work on.
Right, so we're going to talk a little bit about that over the next couple of weeks to come, where we'll take a look at some of the players and their performance and their testing results. But now it's time for us to go to the score. Energy drinks, spot the ball competition. Right, this is where we take the ball, we put it on Facebook with a picture at least, and we give you a chance to guess the ball, to spot the ball. It's very difficult. Many of you get it, well, but we never get it right. So here's the picture. Faisal, Jerome, you guys are going to have an opportunity. A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, C3. Try and spot the ball. Give me your best guess, Faisal.
Yeah, it's never where you expected. So I think I'm just going to throw it out there, A3.
You're going to go with A3. Jerome, you want to give it a go?
This one is easy. I'll go B2.
You're going to go B2. Jerome is going with A3. With B2. Faisal's going with A3. You went with A3. I'm going to go here with A1. All right, let's see. Where's the ball? C3. Hey, we never get it right. Once again, thanks to Zahid Apollos for sending in this photograph. We're really grateful for your support. And then congratulations to last week's winner, Charlton Swartz. Charlton, we will be reaching out to you for you to collect your case of Score energy drinks. Right, I'm going to say goodbye to my guests now, folks, because after the break, we're going to show you a couple of highlights from the Western Province Rugby Awards dinner. For those of you that missed it, a couple of fantastic scenes here from the annual awards dinner. We didn't speak to you guys since the awards dinner in terms of showing the footage, but Faisal, I mean, has everybody got their trophies now? Has there been much feedback after the interaction?
No, I think, everybody was quite excited. Everybody was, over the moon with regards to having, the events. But again, it was all about just the clubs coming together, obviously acknowledging those that excelled. But ultimately, the mere factor from club rugby in terms of what it's about, and just coming in one, venue, having your professional, your community players, it was fantastic. And I wish we could have more of it, more regularly and that there. But yeah, that's obviously the one thing that we look forward to.
Yeah, Jerome, I mean, you, from a coaching perspective, also a fantastic evening for you to shake hands with all the coaches who work with you during the year, all the hard work they've put in behind the scenes.
Yeah, it's great to catch up, and it's great to hear their stories and what they did during the year to achieve their goals. And it's good, and it's also good to see that a lot of the clubs, they actually set goals, because you can't just go into a season, just go play. And then obviously the rewards afterwards, it just makes everything special for them.
Yeah. So folks, we'll leave it at that. After the break, you will then see some of the highlights of the Western Province Rugby Awards dinner. So with that, Jerome, thanks for joining us, and we're looking forward to catching up with you again next week.
Always a pleasure.
And Faisal, to you as well. Lots of administration work. We know that the clubs are going to be busy all the way through. So we're looking to find out more about that, especially your educational programs.
No, definitely. Thank you, JP. Thank you, viewers and that there, and looking forward to being back.
Right, folks, there you go. As I said then, highlights of the annual Western Province Rugby Awards dinner coming up after the break. And of course, look out for that fantastic interview that we did with Mani Lebok, who is of course now been called up into the Springbok rugby side and is already making sure that all the Western Province Rugby fans are watching the Springbok matches. We'll see you again next week. Same time, same place. Have a fantastic rugby weekend. Bye-bye. Welcome back, everybody. It's Cape Rugby TV, and of course we're here at the annual awards, Western Province Rugby, DHL Western Province Rugby Awards dinner. With me is Sean Gordon, Paarl Rangers Rugby Football Club. Sean, you should be looking happy. You look a little bit nervous.
Yeah, I am happy. I'm in front of a camera, so. But yeah, it was.
Cape Rugby TV se camera, so ons is baie rustig hierso.
Ja.
Kom ons kyk gou hierso wat jy het vanaand. Julle het natuurlik 'n uitstekende seisoen gehad. Ek dink daai laaste game teen Lower Parel was natuurlik 'n groot game vir julle.
Ja, dit was 'n baie groot game. Ons het vir 2 jaar in 'n finals verloor, so ons het vir onsself gesê die derde keer sal ons dit weer misluk, so ons het alles ingesit. Ons het hard gewerk daai week en ons het die sukses bereik.
Congratulations, you've had a fantastic season with the Brackenfell women's side.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's truly an honor to be the head coach at Brackenfell, and we started off a brand new team this year. 85% of the players was brand new, never played rugby before. We've got a few Springboks, a few Western Province players, juniors and seniors in the team, but it was truly a privilege and an honor to be affiliated with Brackenfell, seeing that my rugby career actually started there back in 2004.
It wasn't easy though. I mean, we saw you guys play a couple of times in the season. Teams like Busy Bees, Falspay, Marty's, Tigerberg. I mean, everybody was playing at 100% and not letting you get away from them.
No, definitely. A few of the games were pretty hard. There's one of the games that we didn't get a bonus point against Busy Bee. And I must also give a shout out to Falspay Rugby Club. They've really dominated in their own way this year, and that was unfortunately the only game that we lost this year. But we managed to still be the club champs, and it's overwhelming. That's all I can say, and I really hope that it continues and that people will buy in and join clubs and reach out as sponsors to evolve this game.
You're wearing this blue blazer tonight. This is Western Province Rugby Council. You were given this blazer today as a delegate of Western Province Rugby, and a number of administrators today were given this. But this comes after years of dedication and support of a club structure and Western Province Rugby.
Yes, obviously you get it after a certain number of years if you've attended all the meetings and you don't just skip meetings for no reason. So it's just something that you get back for like you say, for dedication or for your time spent in admin, because there's not a financial reward in admin. It's one of those.
Well, it goes to show you have in fact done that. You've been to the meetings, you've spent the time, you've read the documents, you've put in the hard yards. We need more of that. We need more administrators in sport. I mean, would you agree with me? We need clubs to individuals out there in all sport codes to step up. If you're not playing the game, get involved in the administration.
Look, you don't see an administrator until he's not there. When things start going wrong at your club, you wonder why. And at the clubs where things don't go wrong, it's where they have good administrators behind the scenes. So you don't normally see the guys, but they just make sure that things are happening.
10 years ago this time, sitting in Super League B. Now, further down the line, you guys have ticked all the boxes to become the champions. You've engaged at a community level. You've built your different structures, your women's structure, your youth structure, your community structures, your management structures, your sponsors. It's all of those things coming together.
Yeah, JP, when you map it out like that, it truly is phenomenal, and that is what a club structure is all about. It's about a lot of moving cogs and a lot of people giving up their time, volunteers. I know a lot of people like to maybe talk about resources and money often, but sometimes you can actually do a lot of very little there.
You've had some administrators at Falspay that have also been there for a number of years. I think that this was one of the years where you celebrated Paul de Waal, and of course you sadly lost Brian Peters earlier in the year. But your club is made up of stalwarts, individuals that have been there for many years.
yes, and not just given of their time for their club, but given of their time for this sport and for this union as well. And some of them are no longer with us today, and our thoughts and prayers are with them and their families. And again, it's kind of what makes the sport special, because all of us are kind of in this time and passing, and we can all have a great moment in time, and we will all pass once upon a time, but it's nice that we can leave whatever legacy we can.
With me is Mani Libbok, of course DHL Stormers fly off, and tonight crowned as the Western Province Rugby's Player of the Year. Mani, fantastic to see you. We just see you on TV. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling very happy at the moment. Obviously, it's unreal. To be honest, I'm just honored the guys for the guys that they voted for me, and it feels good that I for this trophy that they gave it to me. I feel good in a sense of what I like mean to them as a player, as a teammate. And I'm just honored that they voted me for this. So it's a nice feeling.
Ons praat natuurlijk baie hierso oor club rugby. Die spelers kyk elke naweek vir jou. Jy's hulle hero. Hulle kyk op na jou toe. Het jy dalk 'n paar woorde vir die clubs daar buite, vir die kinders wat vir jou watch? Hulle wil almal natuurlik rugby speel soos jy speel.
Ja, eerstens wil ek sê rugby is groot in Western Province. Dis nou enig wat ek agtergekom het in my tyd wat ek nou by Stormers is. As die feit dat hoe groot rugby regtig in die Western Province is, en is great van club rugby af, van skool rugby af na club rugby toe, na professional rugby toe is amazing, en hoe die mense saamwerk en ek was bevoorreg om by twee toernooie te kon wees, van club rugby toernooie, en dit was vir my amazing, het was awesome geweest om daar te kon wees en die mooi picture te kan sien van die mense, hoe die mense uitkom om die spanne te kon support en alles en die fans, hoe die ouens daar buite hulle talente uitleef op die veld en so. So dis vir my, dis enig wat vir my baie uitstaan in terme van rugby in die Western Province, en dan net 'n woord vir die jonger manne buite, sal ek net sê, obviously, as 'n mens moet droom in die lewe, en dit is okay om te droom in die lewe, verstaan, en jy kan ten alle tye, jy kan altyd jou drome kan altyd waar word as jy bereid is om hard te werk. So vir my, die groot ding vir my is altyd, dat ek kan sê, jy moet altyd hard werk, sodat jou drome kan waar word, want dit gaan net gebeur, en jy moet dit maak gebeur, so hoe ga je het maken gebeuren is om hard te werken. So, je moet hard werken om het te kan bereiken op een van die dag. Ja. So, hard work, discipline en sacrifice voor mij dat zijn die 3 grote dingen om het te maken in je leven.
Mani, again, fantastic achievement. Congratulations. I'm getting emotional just listening to you.
Yeah.
I love watching you play rugby. I know Western Province rugby fans all love it.
Yeah.
It's been a long traveling for you guys. You've had a busy time overseas, a lot of aeroplane flights, and of course you're back home now.
Yeah.
I'm sure Dobber's going to want you guys to get some sleep tonight because the training starts tomorrow.
Yeah.
So ons sê vir jou wel gedaan. Ons is baie trots op julle.
Yes.
En ja, dankie dat jy die tyd gevat het om met hom te gesels.
Ja.
En geniet die cappie weer, is wel gedaan.
Baie dankie. Ja, dankie vir julle, man, om hier te hê. Is amazing. Soos ek gesê het, is baie nice. Lekker conversation, so ja, dankie vir julle.
I'm thrilled and honored and privileged to have with me the superstar coach of the DHL Stormers, John Dobson. Dobbo, welcome.
Thanks, Joe. It's not true, but thank you.
Well, the minister seems to think it's true. You recently got an accolade as a ministerial commendation for coaching, which is, of course, for that amazing performance for you with you guys in the URC.
You also got some accolades. Anyway, it's another. It was nice to have the team reconnecting with Cape Town, which was one of our objectives. That was very special. Western Cape, which is very special for us.
It's been 2-3 years now since opportunity for you guys to get together from an awards point of view like this. It's been a difficult 3 years. Tonight we saw some incredible stuff. We saw blue blazers being handed out for the first time. We can see that you guys have just still brand new in the kit. But we saw some incredible stuff. New caps, new blazers. I mean, this is a proud occasion for you guys.
Exactly right. Exactly what I felt was pride. Pride to be part of this organisation. We all grew up, with these blazers and the dyes, and to see it being so well honoured, and the youngsters and the old people, the guy from Hamadayas who must be about 90 getting a car. It was a very special evening, and it made also, like I chatted before we came out, the mixture of professional, community, everybody together as one family, literally without being cliche. It was special there.
For club rugby, it's one. I mean, you've played enough club rugby in your time. You've got enough history of that. For them, it's also enough, even more special because you play Super League A, Super League B. You might not see each other during the year, and then you get to the awards then, and for the first time, you rub shoulders across the leagues, across the schools.
Yeah, and I think you also realise the size of Western Province Club Rugby because those trophies from Northern or City region, and these teams they're proud and they leave it. So it makes us as from now that I'm on the professional side. It makes you feel humble. You know what I mean? Because you're part of just a much bigger organisation.
Talking about bigger, your players are looking massive. They're looking fit. They're looking strong. You guys just had a great season.
Yeah, look, we're in good shape. What I like about our team now, it's tough. We lost on the weekend, is we bring a whole new generation through. Whether that's Sasha or Suleiman Hartzenberg, you'll see Connor Evans. We only got 5 of the guys who won the title played this last week, which is brilliant. And they still probably should have won, so that's exciting.
Dobbo, one of the things that I also noticed about the players today is that without fail, not one of them had any qualms about shaking hands or saying hello to anybody with a big smile. The humility of your guys, the approachability, I mean, this is something that we really value in professional players.
It's probably our most important asset. Our mission statement as Stormers, DHL Stormers, is to make Cape Town smile, and that's how we interact with everybody. So if I hear any reports of them behaving differently, it'd be very, very worrying. I'm thrilled to hear that. We're very proud of that.
Dobbo, we'll leave it at that. Thanks very much for talking to us.
Thanks for what you do.
And you guys, congratulations. I think, really make everybody very proud, and we love watching you guys every weekend.
Thanks very much. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks.